and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're here this evening for one very important and exciting purpose, and that is to hear one of the presentations regarding the High Plains Playground renovation, or shall we say extension, or shall we say fixer-up? I don't know what we should say. I think overhaul. And we have with us this evening an individual who has from Premier Park and Play LLC. And we found out a lot about playgrounds in our search for the appropriate vendor. I believe you have done some work at the the Peter Sam Elementary School and so forth. And so I know we've taken a look at that work and have other things around the state. We found out a lot about one of the state requirements, and some people, I found out that you can't just go online and pick up piece of equipment and say, we want that, because if it's not made in Massachusetts to Massachusetts specs, we may not be able to get that piece of equipment and so forth. So that's why we have gone now to, what we call the experts, and we're very interested to see what your recommendations are for the park that you've seen. And I guess, go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you very much. My name is Doug Knotts. As Maureen said, I'm owner, principal of Premier Park and Play. My background is I've been in the industry 31 years. Started when I was 7. Only 38, I'm sure. But anyway, appreciate the opportunity to come in here and enlighten you on playgrounds and hear your ideas as well. Because definitely it's a dialogue, in terms of community input, and really finding every community has their own particular needs. And that's what I'm here for. Is I offered a plan and met with Tammy a few weeks back at the site. And went through and kind of discuss what you have there, including some things that you wanted to keep at, possibly keep at the park. And you'll see I have some copies there. I printed out 7 copies, so there's a few extra the numbers. But so anyway, working with Tammy, it was kind of a review of what was there and what potentially was what the community liked and maybe wanted to keep. So I'll kind of start with that. So based on conversations with her, and emails and so on, the discussion was to keep possibly the dinosaur, spring rider, and a 4-seater seesaw, and the arch climber with a fire pole on the far end. All those seem to be in good condition. They're worn a little bit, but they're functional, and maybe a little touch-up paint, maybe a community project of touching up with paint or something may lighten it up when you put in your new equipment as well. So that's a possibility. So that's basically, and things to kind of avoid based on discussion, things like tubes, crawl tubes, tube slides. The concern is there about vandalism and things going on after hours. And then let's see what else was discussed. Just given my experience in certain types of things to avoid other than tubes. Certain activity panels are pretty boring and not really functional once the child learns it the first or second day, they'll never use it again. So what you're putting out there is something that's not functional long term. So that's kind of a quick synopsis. And then just in terms of what I had quoted, which we'll go over, and this is High Plains right there, I understand.
Yeah.
Don't we read? That's what you're putting in, right?
Yeah,
We'll
exactly.
get our vote ready.
So, in sending the email to Tammy a couple weeks ago, it basically was 2 structures, one for 5 to 12, one for 2 to 5, a little playhouse, a standing seesaw for ages 5 to 12, some freestanding activities, more of a labyrinth panel and some music, just one piece of music, and so not too noisy, and a new swing set.
Excuse me, before when you said what you would think about saving, what about the thing that looks like, I'm going to say, a climbing igloo is what it looks like to me?
That's
That's an
a
in.
dome
okay.
type climber, arch climber with center poles, yeah. And then, so basically, when we go over that, I'll show you, the total price was just at about $150,000, which included supply and install of the equipment and supply of the surfacing and the ADA matting, which I'll go into in a few minutes. But And that's based on state contract pricing, which there's a discount. And so we've already gone through, the state's already gone through a bid process, and then it includes a discount for the communities that take advantage of it. And the town would be responsible for removal of the existing equipment, excavation, and then installing the surfacing and the mats. So you have your chance to get out there with your wheelbarrow and spread wood fiber. But that's the basic synopsis of the project. And the manufacturer I had used was a company called Jean-Bet. They're out of Quebec, Canada, and I've been working with them for about 8 to 10 years. We've done projects locally. Probably the closest is in Gardner, one of the parks. We've done some equipment about 5, 6 years ago. It's a metal structure primarily with molded plastic slides, high-density plastic slides. The posts are aluminum, and very good product. Obviously, selling in Canada, they have to make something that's going to last the harsh winters, and they've been around about 40 years. They were actually this year moving to a new factory double their size. So that's the company is Jean-Bet. Questions so far? I don't want to talk too fast.
Now, this, obviously, there are requirements for the distance between
Right.
structures.
Yeah, in fact, Maureen, what we'll do is we'll go actually into the top view first.
Okay.
All right. All right, so if you're looking from your right to left, the left
Is
is...
it better if we twist that TV a little more toward you guys?
Is it possible?
Yeah, let's
maybe-
do that.
Trust us, the only thing we can do is maybe hold the flag up. I mean, it's
Is that the one? Maybe it's not.
it's a terrible, comes out of the bottom, it comes out of the bottom.
It's probably fine.
Yeah, okay.
I know, you might find it easier if you move up closer to even thing, I don't know.
Okay, so if you're looking at the playground area now, the field, sports field is on the top.
Right.
Okay, the street is on the bottom. And what we're looking to do is,
Maybe, Mark, maybe it's this one.
there you go. That's a little better, yeah. Yep.
Mark.
So what we're looking at here is adding new swings to the right,
No, just
Right there?
right there on the right side.
How many swings?
There'd be a total of 8, which would be 5 belt seats for older kids, 1 ADA seat, and 2 enclosed tot seats for tots. And enclosed means they're fully bucket seats, so they're protected both front and back as they swing. And then we have a smaller structure for the 2 to 5 group. We have the village playhouse, as I mentioned. We have a couple small ground level activities freestanding here in the middle. These 2 squares, a rectangular square, represent the dinosaur and the 4-seat spring rider or seesaw in this area.
Okay, the 4-seat spring rider seesaw, that's
That's
on site?
existing, yeah, that's gonna stay. Yep. I mean, if you don't want it, that's fine, but it seemed to be in decent shape, so, that's up to you on that respect. So, and then we have the larger structure for the ages 5 to 12, this area right here.
Mhm.
And then this existing dome climber or arch climber here,
Yeah.
right there. And then on the far left, we have the standing seesaw for kids ages 5 to 12.
And that's four people at the same time?
The standing seesaw is 2.
Two, just
Yeah,
2?
Yeah, there'll be a picture of what it looks like.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
basically, it covers the whole area. The systems are all modular, so when you look at something on there and you like most of it, and you go, can we change some components? It's easy to do. It's all modular. The one thing that is right now, I know, is that the space is very tight, so we may have to even modify the slide a little bit, because it's 45 and a half feet, and I think I measured about 46 to 47 across. So it may be something that I would come back out and just verify the information before everything is ordered, just to make sure, and meet with whomever. But
We could have some opportunity to change the shape of it as well to work,
With the
around some of that.
So
okay,
is that the original space right here?
I think this is the original
Yes,
space.
the
We had
original
talked
space.
about potentially making it more of a square, keeping the same square footage, but changing the shape. So if we want to go this route, we might ask for like one other option just to consider as well,
Okay.
but
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
I
But
just
we
had one
have some
question.
flexibility in there.
What else is handicapped on it? We have one swing that's, what did you say, it was ADA?
ADA, yeah, I'll show you the pictures there, okay? Just one, here we go, go.
There's no sand play at all there?
There is not.
Okay.
I mean, it's easy to do, you have space.
Well, do we have space? It looks like you're, unless we're.
We do, yeah, I mean, you definitely have space in this area here.
Okay.
So, for instance, what these lines around the perimeter of certain equipment represents the safety zone.
Right,
And
right.
we were designed to meet all safety regulations, both
Right.
Consumer Product Safety Commission guidelines and the ASTM, American Society for Testing
And
Materials.
this is with us preparing removing the old and preparing whatever we need to
Yeah.
prepare.
Yes.
And then we would be responsible for, in addition to setting the mats according to a design
Right.
and the
Wood fiber.
wood fiber.
Yes.
Okay. Now, are we responsible for purchasing the wood fiber and purchasing the mats
No.
outside of the
No, that included
That
the
is included,
supply.
okay.
Correct. So that's the general layout, and again, as you said, you know, we can look at changing things around. So let's go to the next page. This just shows you some different versions, different areas of the play area. So this is the standing seesaw that I mentioned.
Right,
So
okay.
they have a handle to hold on to, they're standing on that, there's a rubber bumper underneath, so they're just kind of going up and down together. And this is the structure, and what I try to do is design a structure that has, you know, everything basically that, you know, from overhead ladders to climbers to slides, panels, both interactive and social panels. So it's a pretty wide variety, stepping, balancing, everything that would, you know, meet the different needs of kids. And ideally, you know, if a child doesn't feel comfortable doing something, there are many
Yeah.
other options for them to be able to do. So that shows you just the, yeah, okay, so that's one vision, one view. Okay, this is another view. So we have the slides at different heights. I think there's 3 slides, different heights, again, to challenge the different abilities. Here's a fun climbing net, as you can see, they can climb over or climb through. You have the monkey bars right here, the stepping pod, balancing activity right there. Here's another vision of view. This is the playhouse. And this, again, the slides and climbers for the older kids area. And this is the structure for the younger kids.
In the playhouse, is it just like a structure? Is there a seat in there?
There is a seat, yeah.
Is there anything fun on the walls for them to touch and move, or is it just?
Well, it's a density panel with, it's routed. You can see there's like a little dog right there. There's, in terms of on the panel, not really, in terms of interactive. It's more just a place to play inside of. So this is the smaller children's area again. and
So there's
large ones.
little climbing, no slide.
No, there's a slide on the backside.
There's a slide on the backside?
Yeah, and then there's various climbers and
Yeah.
panels, play panels and so on.
All the coverings are those plastic for?
No,
top
that's,
or something?
again, a high-density plastic is basically, you know, it's almost like a wood, but it's not a wood. It's almost a type of recycled material. This is the drum, percussion. You actually hit your hand and it makes a little sound, but it's not very loud, so I'm concerned about neighbors.
Where is the little drum?
This piece right here.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And this is another activity, ground level activity. It's a ball maze. There's a ball inside, and you grab this little black handle, and you turn it to make the ball follow, you know, maze from the outside to the inside, or vice versa.
Has that been a popular thing at
It's
playgrounds?
relatively new, but yes, yeah, I was, City of Manchester, we're doing it. We've done 2 projects, and both of them have been on that, Manchester.
Is there any place where you have the, shall I say, so to say, the largest piece? Is it anywhere close where we could?
Gardner.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so we can look at it.
Olivia
Where are in
Case
Gardner?
Playground.
It's the same one?
It's the playground that used to be wooden.
Yes,
That
used
used
to
to
be
be
the
that
wooden.
wooden playground in
Yeah.
Gardner where you could go through all the different levels.
I guess, John.
When I was a kid. Okay.
Where is
Okay.
that?
Anyway,
Where is that?
it's off of it's down by Park and Clark Street.
Park and Clark?
It's
Near a
that
school or
area.
something?
No, it's just off. There's like a ballpark
It's a
there.
big softball field.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it's,
Fire departments play softball there once in a while.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's called Olivia.
Olivia Case, yeah.
Case Playground.
Is the drum the only musical instrument?
The drum actually, I think it is. And I don't think there's one on the structure, no.
There are other structures if we chose to do some
Yeah,
more
there's different
interactive
music
stuff.
features,
Okay.
yeah.
Is the location going to be again towards the road, or are you going to move it to the back?
No, it's going to be right near the road, pretty much right where it's at now.
Right where it is.
And my little comment is, the kids like the whole length of it.
Yeah.
Because they can run from one end to another.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be the whole length of it and then some.
Yeah, okay, I'm just saying, instead of like cutting off the ends and then what do they do, just sit there?
Mhm.
You know, that was just my opinion, but.
You got good,
I think if anything, we might want to push it, like widen it a little on
Yeah,
the shorter
that'd
end,
be fine.
but.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure we
The
could
shorter side we could
move
widen.
the fence is in
Yeah.
decent condition, we could move the fence, probably have it moved
Yeah.
back.
A question to the Board of Selectmen. The
Yes.
back side of the field is all gravel, basically, and the side coming up.
Back by the basketball court?
Right beside the basketball court, it goes across to that street down there. Then coming up, as they come up, there is just a mud puddle there.
Yeah, well, that's easy to
Is there
fix.
plans for,
Oh,
people to, take care of that?
Oh, yeah, that's minor.
It might be minor,
Ah.
but it's tax
But it does need to get done,
Well,
yes.
well, but it's so inconsequential compared to this. So I mean, getting that, so that that amount of soil that's turning to mud is moved and,
Yeah.
replaced with the appropriate kind of gravel is not a big deal. We can do that.
And what is being shown here is below what we've budgeted for the project as a whole, so there's room there to add fence and to clean up some of those issues as well.
Benches, picnic tables, that kind of stuff.
I think we need some.
Now, you've given us a price. Is it negotiable?
Well, there's already a discount applied, so.
No, I'm just saying.
It's negotiable.
I'm just saying, obviously, as we look at your bottom line, and we look at the bottom line of two other bidders, obviously, we might like this of yours and that of theirs, and, we might say to you, hey, can you give us something like this and something like that, and what would that cost?
Yeah.
Because obviously, this is a big financial lift for us. And we want to make certain we get not only the best bang for our buck, but that we have the kind of longevity built into this system that children for several, maybe not as long as we've used the current property since 1950, but, so that we have good results and, that the quality of the product is really good.
I understand. Yeah, it'd be something we could look at. I could talk with the factory further and see what.
Okay.
excuse me, what is the price of this?
It was 150,000, what's the email?
Okay.
150,844.
And that's not including, removing the old and, getting things prepared. That's going to be put back on us to do. And other contracts are bidding us both ways.
Okay.
And so obviously, we'll need to know what is the value of that.
Yeah.
On that there, is the town going to do that, or are we going to subcontract that out?
Probably, I think, Mark, you want to answer that?
Well, I think that we can get enough people together and have it done, volunteers.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that can happen.
okay.
Because it's only placement of material, and they're providing all the chips and whatever you call it,
Yeah.
and then the mats. So it's just a matter of moving the material, taking the old stuff out, and replacing it with the chips.
I'd like to make a comment to the selectmen is that I've looked at another company who happens to be having some significant sales. According to what I've read on the internet, some of them are half price
Yeah, well,
because they have,
we've looked into those, and
they
some,
have excess.
yeah, well.
Wait, I'm not finished.
Yeah, okay.
Please, thank you. So, I'm not saying that your product is not good, it looks wonderful,
Yeah.
but there is a significant difference in maybe what this company might do for 130 or 40, and for what you guys do. And I don't know if you know.
Well,
Well,
we looked into that,
Yeah.
yes. And what we found was that the company's from Texas, and so that's, the product is generated based upon standards and, you know, that Texas has, which may not be our standards. They do not provide for, you know, freighting. We'd have to freight it up here. We'd have to be responsible for engineering it or paying their engineer who comes and does it. So at least we've been, in our search to try to get the cheapest not cheapest, most inexpensive product that we can possibly find, is we find that there are very rigorous regulations in Massachusetts, I know you're shocked, that really make it impossible for us to deal with outside vendors who are saying, well, we can give you all of this for this price, and then, but it's not, meets the standards that we have to put for the playground. So,
So we're working with, you know,
I have no
companies that are
idea
on the
what
state bid list.
I have no idea what the standards are, but this company has delivered products in Massachusetts,
mhm,
in various and sundry places.
perhaps.
And so I just want to make sure that the town gets the best.
No, I understand, you're
the
a tax,
best-
tax.
The best bang for the buck
Absolutely.
for comparative products. I just want to make sure
And we,
that
But
we are planning to have 2 more presentations from different companies, so we are.
And what we've
looking
done
at
is, I think you're
alternatives.
talking about, some folks have, you know, been good enough to provide us with some of the things that they've seen on the internet and thought, and so we have given this to our, 2 of the other vendors and said, what about this product? Can we get it? Can you provide it for us and put it in your design? And their answer has been, no, we've tried to deal with that company before, we can't in Massachusetts. So I'm just saying what we've gotten from,
I'm not telling you what
these
to
vendors.
do, but it just seems that.
well, we'd love to
if a-
do something cheaper, believe me.
If a company claims that they're having certain sections of their products and they're offering them because of excess stock, and they have done business in Connecticut and Massachusetts and Vermont, and they will assemble, and they will do all the work.
And you have that verified in writing?
I think, I've had conversation with them.
Well, we've had some similar conversations with them and found that it's not as easy as we think. And they, for example, if they want $90,000 for a piece of equipment, we then have to do an RFP and go out for bid from every place else in America. Right now, we're working with the state of Massachusetts and going through their companies that have already gone through the bid process. So it's really hard for us to buy out of state.
I understand that some companies are not on the bid list.
Right.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. This company doesn't happen to be on the bid list, however, they have delivered
Perhaps, I don't know.
2 municipalities in the state of Massachusetts,
Mhm.
and somehow they're able to get them on the bid list, and for some reason, this board claims that they cannot get on the
Yeah.
bid list.
Well-
So,
Well, I'm not sure which company you're talking about.
I was just gonna say. could you
I don't know
give
which
the
one you're talking about.
Estimate or the paperwork to the board so they can
Yeah.
review.
right, the
If
name
if
of
it's
the-
someone we can work with, we can bring them in for a
the name of
presentation.
the company is called, PAS Playgrounds.
PAF?
The website is called proplaygrounds.com. And the representatives that one speaks, and by the way, Mary Ann Jenner knows about this
Yeah.
company. And the people that you call, they're commissioned salespeople. And whenever I've spoken to that company, it appeared, everybody I've spoken to, and I would follow through, but the selectmen, I'm sure, are very well versed in negotiating and discussing, I don't need to be doing that. But they claim that some of their products are whatever regular price is, and then they also claim that some of their products, they happen to have overstock.
Yeah, they're heavily
So-
discounted.
Okay.
Yeah, that's their story. and I haven't followed through because that's not my.
Right, that's
my
not
res-
your spot.
It's not
So
my
here's-
job to do it. So I just want you to be aware, if this company has discounts on some of its products, maybe that company has discounts on some
And
of
we
their
can talk about
products.
that more later, but I think we should continue with the presentation
Yeah, okay.
that's here. We can talk about that more later.
That sounds good, thanks.
Okay.
I just, what's your name, sir?
Doug.
Doug, I just want to put a bug in Doug's ear, that's all. That was the reason I said what I said.
Okay.
Fair enough, thank you. All right, so this is the far side, we're looking at it, again, the right side of the play area with the swings. There's the ADA seat. We actually would move it to the closest end to the swing, to the existing, the new equipment, but that just shows you that. And then we have, this shows you an aerial view. And actually we'd rotate it so the swings, so the street would be on this side on top and the play field is on the bottom in this case.
And this, of course, doesn't show the existing stuff.
Yeah, so
that
the
we would-
existing dome climber is right here and the dinosaur and the seesaw, four-seat seesaw would be somewhere in this area.
Excuse me, on the swings, are there stops to prevent the swing from being swung over as all? You know where I'm getting at?
I know, swing around, you have to climb
Yeah.
up, grab the chain, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if a swing doesn't do that, it's no fun.
I agree, but if you've got 5 or 6 kids there and all the swings are swung up by
Yeah, yeah.
teenagers,
Yeah.
Well-
That's kind of like our responsibility, I would say, get out there, right? That's our responsibility, to get after them, you think?
I think,
most of the times it's at night that they're doing it, or we're at work or someplace.
What's his name again?
So, all right, so that just shows you the structure. What you'll see again is it identifies all the components, not only in the climbers, but there's below it again activities. There's a store panel, there's the, let's see, what's the number 21? That is the sign language panel. There's a seat panel right here on the bottom. So there's some different activities, both ground level and elevated
Number
components.
4 there.
The number 4, this is a transfer platform. The
For
way for
handicap.
ADA requirements is either to have a full ramp or to have a transfer. And then basically, it's a special type of stairs, where a child and/or a parent would roll up next to it and then basically grab a handle, pull themselves out of the chair, crawl up to the structure, and then, crawl or walk or whatever along the structure. So it's just about, I can maybe zoom in a little bit for you, just so you can see a little better. So, can you see that a little better there? So there's one step, then there's a larger platform area for them to transfer on, and then there's some steps up to a higher platform.
What about number 10?
Number 10, that's a climber,
Okay.
like a honeycomb climber.
The transfer from the front of the, facing us to the other structure, is that a rope type thing, or is that a solid?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
it's solid.
You're talking about the actual transfer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
a
that-
I guess it's number 16?
That's this right here, that's actually a suspension bridge.
That is a suspension, so
Yeah.
they'll be bounced to.
There's a little bounce to it, obviously with the barrier rails on above, yes. Yeah. Alligators not included. Okay, so then it just gets into the actual components in the drawing,
So
There's-
ground covering, is that all the wood chips?
It would be almost, the wood fiber throughout.
Do you have a picture with the mats
Patties,
in
yeah.
there? Oh, good.
Yeah, so that's a better picture of the transfer platform, just to show you. Okay. I'll just a couple of features first. One of the things that Jean Bet started a few years back was actually adding a antimicrobial application in the paint. So it serves as a protection to help, touching of the metals with the kids, so.
What's the longevity of that?
Well, it's in the paint, so it's gonna last.
that doesn't tell us much.
Yeah, well, you know, people say, well, how long will your equipment last? You know, just, there's a variety of factors, usage, weather, you know, so on, so.
Maybe we should use some of that.
Yeah, it says a little detail there, and then the other thing is that most of the, well, the structures at least will be using this, what we call stringer system. Makes for a quicker installation, which, you know, ends up saving money, because, you know, based on Massachusetts labor, you have to pay prevailing wage rates for installation. So to try to minimize that cost, we go with the stringer system. As you can see, basically these are the vertical posts of the structure. You have these horizontal plates that connect post to post. So it just makes it for a quicker installation. That's what we did at the Peters Camp location. You can't see it, obviously, because it's covered with the wood fiber.
It's kind of cool. Sensory
In
tunnel.
terms of
Yeah, they got some pretty good
matting,
stuff.
let's go to that.
Do you have a book? Want a book?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I know you have, instead of the playhouse, you also have things called sensory tunnels, which are for, you know, all kinds of, you know, from toddlers through age 12. And are those exorbitantly expensive, or?
The longer tunnel, it's, yeah, that's expensive. It's over 15,000, double tunnel. There's a single one which is under 10. Yes.
So if I had somebody who wanted to donate, like a sensory tunnel, that would cost them about 15 grand?
Yeah, I mean, what I can do is, and I may have already sent it to Tammy, the price list from the catalog. And you may have you have the catalog, but I can send it via PDF as well, so you can pass it around, people can look at what's available.
Well, because I know that there's an interest in making sure that we have that sensory sort of approach, so that for all age levels,
Right.
because having just one thing to play with, but having a tunnel where a lot of kids could get involved in a lot of different things might be pretty exciting, kind of a different thing. So just, okay.
The other thing is there some sort of heat resistance on that, or is it going to get 90-degree day?
Well, it's
We
kind
don't
of,
wanna
it's
see
an
our
open
kids
sort of
getting
tunnel,
hurt.
it's not like a tunnel like the kids crawl
No,
through, they walk
or the
through.
whole system.
Yeah, no, in terms of heat, the primary concern is molded plastics. I mean, there's no metal in terms of stainless steel lids, so you don't have to worry about that. That's the big one. Even but molded plastic will get hot, you know, especially exposed. So what we'll try to do, and I think I mentioned, go with lighter colored plastics,
Right.
you know, to minimize that. But, you know, 90-degree day, the
It's hot.
slides will go, wow, this is
Well,
uncomfortable.
there,
or warm.
yeah, we have
Yeah.
young children
Yeah.
up there.
What we try to do also is avoid aiming the slide in a western direction, because as the sun goes, but again, because it's so open, you know, you have slides coming on all different sides, you know, it's hard to say, you know, aim it all in one direction, northern direction, but.
Some of that could come on to us for, you know,
Yeah.
to plant some more trees, and
Yeah.
that would take some time, but to get more shade available there.
What method are these molded plastics made with? Are they blow molded, or are they specially
Yeah, it's an injection,
configured?
it's an injection molded, you know, with a.
Because there are two different types,
Yeah.
one is more durable than the other.
Okay, I'm not an engineer, so I can give you
Yeah,
more
well-
detail on that. You know, actually, the specification will tell you, I can send specs.
And their expansion and contraction are different too, and there's also a difference in the winter time in regards to fading, or the summertime for fading,
Yeah,
depending on which
color,
blow
yeah,
molding method you use, that's all.
okay,
I don't know what you use.
yeah,
We can look through the
Sure.
specs.
Are you sure you could find out?
I could find out, yeah.
Is there different levels of quality for each of these? In other words, is it like different versions? You know what I mean, for the same piece? Is it like
Yeah.
certain gauge for each one? You know what I'm saying?
Right, no, I mean,
It's-
what they design is.
it's just what it is.
Exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So, you know, with that climber, it's a, you know, .115 or .08, you know, thicknesses, which one do you want? No, it's all standard.
Now, as far as like sunshine beating on it, fading, whatever, is this stuff paintable?
Yeah, I mean, over time, I always say stay away from reds and yellows, the nature of those colors,
yeah.
especially the pigment, that they tend to fade more. Greens and blues and so on tend to hold color better. You know, down the road, if there's vandalism or whatever, we can get you touch-up paint. It actually comes with some touch-up paint.
Oh, good.
You can do that. I mean, I know you have again, the metal climber there is probably, what, 40 years old probably, the dome climber you have now,
Minimally.
so, but, I'm sorry.
Minimum. I said that, I would say that's at a minimum.
Okay. So, back in, you probably just paint that.
Right, Mary Ann?
Sand it and paint it. So this just shows you, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. This is the ADA matting. So
Okay.
Massachusetts requires that
That's gonna be
matting
hot.
lead to equipment. It doesn't, I mean, these pictures show around the whole thing, but actually it can just pathways, and that's what we would do, is we do pathways to the equipment,
Yeah.
and then under, like under the structure, we'd have matting not only to the transfer platform, but we'd have it leading to the slide, one of the slides that's nearby. So a child, again, who's accesses the transfer and climbs up, goes down the slide, the caregiver would have the chair, be able to roll onto the mat, stay on the matting, have the child transition back into the chair if they wanted to.
With this layout that we have here, is all that matting included?
It's included.
Now, do you have
I don't.
you don't have that?
Yeah,
Okay.
what I wanted to do is kind of finalize and then,
Because you're gonna have to reach out all the way to the ADA swing as well.
Yes, yeah. Well,
Okay.
the idea is you have the current entrance, so the swing would go to the right, probably 40 to 50 feet, and then we'd have a pathway on the left. And
Okay.
have a little alley, so to speak, going to each of the pieces as well.
Yep, okay.
So,
Is it going to be
In the back.
black?
it's black, yeah. That's the only color concept.
That's the only thing, it's just that it's very hot
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Cause I was just wondering.
yeah. Unfortunately, it is black.
That's what it is in Hubbardston's black.
It's
Yeah.
black too.
I mean,
So,
that's the only color they come in, right?
Yes, the only color, yeah.
They remind me of horse stall mats.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
That's what, and I kind of think that's what
Ware
they
has
have.
green, but maybe it's not the same stuff.
They may
Well,
have
I think
mold.
they have poured in.
Yeah, so.
I don't know, it's a different, it's like greenish.
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I
around
think
the
that's a
green.
poured in rubber.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So this is a mat going over the wood fiber. What you're talking about is a poured in place,
Oh.
meaning they actually mix it on site, and it's a solid piece that is anywhere from 1.5 to 5 inches, depending on the fall height of the equipment. So it's a solid piece of rubber. This is just, it's almost more like a welcome mat that you just lay on top of the mat
Okay.
on the wood fiber.
What is the difference in price?
That I think is the,
A lot.
I know. 50%?
More than that.
Whoa.
A lot for the pour-in one,
Yeah,
maybe?
poured in a lot more, because.
Are these heavy enough that they're not just gonna?
Well, you're actually gonna secure them with zip
Yeah, it has
ties.
holes
They
in
come
it.
with zip ties, you just attach several
I
zip
want to know if
ties.
that's the
Yeah.
same thing, you
So
know?
what you would do.
This was
you know,
Peterson.
They come, in-
Yeah.
the sizes are 3 feet by 5
Maybe
feet.
you can talk
So you
to
just
them.
put two together and have zip ties, on each side of it that connects to the other mats.
So I know Ware is starting to wear when they go down the slide, and they're starting
Yeah.
to get some holes in
Yeah.
now, so maybe that's not the way to
Yeah,
go.
well, I gotta say, for poured in place, that's gonna happen on any high impact area, slide exits and
Yeah.
swings where the kids are dragging their feet.
Dragging their feet.
One thing with the swings, maybe to consider, I encourage you, is the wear mats. We can offer some wear mats as well, which are kind of similar in that, but they're solid. And so as the kids are dragging their feet, they're not impacting the wood fiber of the mat. It
Yeah.
just protects that. So it's a great thing for maintenance because you don't have to really worry about it.
So in this case, you could just replace one panel out of them if something happens to it,
Yeah.
the way this
Right,
works.
right.
Okay.
Or in the repair of the poured in place, we have little touch-up kits, because this is the top coat
Yeah.
that is worn, and you can just cut it out the little area, and then we can fill in with the little repair kits.
Could you just give me a ballpark, the cost of the mats and the cost of the wood fiber? Because I know,
Well, if you're doing wood, the mats versus, I'm sorry.
well, you do wood fiber around the mats, right, or under the
No, you
mat?
do wood, the mats on top of the wood.
Yeah,
fiber.
so what is the cost of the mats and the wood fiber together for this project?
I'd have to get back with you on
Okay.
that, yeah.
Would you go look at this, is this the same type of mounts? So I know.
Yeah, yep.
That's the
Could you
same
just-
thing.
Yeah,
Michael,
it
do you mind just passing the phone with?
Yeah,
this?
go ahead.
This is up in Peterson Playground. This is the wood fiber that gets tracked in over the mat
Yeah. So that's the same kind?
Yes.
Yeah.
that he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, is it ideal? No. Cost-wise, it's a lot less, because with the board in place, not only you have the
Expensive.
installation and
Cost of the
material for board in
project.
place,
Yeah.
you also have to have a proper subbase of either compacted stone, asphalt, or concrete. So you're
Want to let
easily
Sam
over-
see that before you bring it up?
Over $30 a square foot for board in place.
The stronger mat you mentioned.
Oh, for the wear mat for swings and slides, yeah, yeah. Depending on the size, 3 by 3 is $100 and something each. So you have maybe 8 swings, you have a few slides, so
I'll bring my broom.
it'd be maybe $1,500 for the wear mats.
Maybe they should consider the water mats?
Well, in addition
Oh,
to
that-
these mats.
Just, what we're really looking for this evening is the ideas,
Yeah.
okay? And, you know, I've heard from other meetings that we've had about sensory issues of concern, that we would make sure that we address those. And so we want to make sure we do that. We want to make sure, obviously, that we meet the ADA requirements, which is to make sure we have the transfers and the you know, the matting or whatever to, so that people can, because you can't push a wheelchair easily over wood chips, but
Right.
with this you can. We want to make certain that, obviously, that we have the kind of facility that we've heard. You want more swings, we know that. You want slides, we know that. And the teeter-totter things, there's the seated and there's the standing, which seems to be quite popular, because that's what the other vendors are talking to us about too, is the standing as well as the seated. Some talk to us about spinners. I don't know what that is. It's some sort of a little device where kids sit and spin in it. Didn't seem like anything I'd want to get on, but anyway. So there's other options. As you look at the catalog, you can say, instead of this, could we do the sensory title? Instead of the sensory title, could we do this? So there's those things that we can look at. Obviously, we're trying to stay in a price range, and what we're trying to do is get it in by August late,
August when?
August sometime. Tight?
No, won't happen.
Okay. So what else, how come another vendor will tell me they can? They lying to me?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking probably at this point sometime shipping in September.
September?
Yeah,
To be completed or something.
probably not.
September
This is gonna be-
early?
This is gonna be a several-week project. You know, trying to
For the
excavate
installation?
And installation, and then installing the surfacing and the mats, you know, you could be close to a month, so.
No.
So was
Yeah.
that when, if the order was placed by?
Uh,
I know you can't give me a
Yeah,
month, but like
let's just
within a
say,
month, within
yeah,
2
we're
months.
probably in, at some point in October to be finished.
But I mean, if we said, yeah, we're going with you.
Yep.
Like, how soon is that then in the October meeting? Do you know what I'm
October.
saying?
No.
If I come to you and say, you're the one that got the project.
Yep.
I have until May to tell you that for it to go in October?
Oh.
Do you
Oh,
know what
I
I'm
see.
at?
Yeah, okay, when's the cutoff to determine that, yeah.
And I'm not holding you to a certain
Yeah,
date.
no, it's, so part of the thing is that they're transitioning to a new factory, actually, larger factory, so they're not, but they've actually already mostly transitioned, but they're not increasing production because they want to work out their kinks. So what they're saying is they're keeping kind of the same level of sales as they did last year, so they're limiting. So what, based on what they told me last week when I put an order in, they were saying September. So if you wait another 2 or 3 weeks, what I can do is speak to, they sometimes will allow it to reserve, and I can find out, you know, what are we looking at for reserving, but August, I don't. Unless an order is canceled, and I do have one possible that I can fill, and that's what they do. No, that order's canceled or delayed, you can slide this one in, so that's a possibility.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because if there's other vendors, so there's
Yeah.
time to look at the other vendors, and then the decision has to be
We-
made.
we-
So that's-
Yeah.
We would
Just-
love to make a deal with somebody by mid-May,
Yeah.
because we do have somebody who had to cancel out last night, who I think is going to be here next week. And then we're still waiting for firm and final from the third vendor,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
So,
Yeah, so essentially what we want to do is look at these different presentations, which one do we like the best, and we might, you know, pick who we're going with, tweak it a little bit from there, potentially add a few things or change some things once we know which one we're going with, and try to have this process put together and have something, you know, ordered essentially by the middle of May.
I mean, I'd be happy to reach out to the factory tomorrow, ask them, okay, if it was to be ordered by May 15th, what can I get for it? And then I'll let you know, but I'm sure August it will not be.
is there any piece of equipment, or is there any, are the mats hard to get? What, if we're going to get held up on something, what are we going to get held up on?
Just the equipment in general, there's not one piece in
Structure.
particular.
Okay.
Just everything.
And so, when we do the demo and get ready for you to come, would you say 3 days maybe, Mark?
Yeah, it wouldn't be any more than that.
More than that?
No, it wouldn't even be more
Okay.
than that. Now, around, what is the depth of the chips? Wood
12
chips?
inches.
12 inches, that's what they're.
And the stringer is 12 inches.
Now, do you have like a perimeter around what they require, like certain distance from each? It has to be 12 inches, then it could go less, or is it?
Well, and Tammy had talked, and sorry, I can't remember the other woman that was there.
Sandy.
So Sandy, oh.
How soon we forget, Sandy.
You're wearing something different tonight, that's
Good thing.
So, you know, there was discussion, leaving grass in between. If that's not the case, then, you know, we could take everything out. The wood fiber may increase then, you know, because obviously you're taking some of the grass, but right now you have different areas.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's grass in between, so.
And the price is including you, with the wood fiber with that, so we kinda have to know what we, you know,
we're taking
obviously you don't
out.
wanna over excavate and then,
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Based on the safety zones that I had picked.
Yeah.
But there's some grass in between, so if we're gonna take the grass out, it may, the overall, I mean, I can get you a new price based on if everything's gone.
okay.
Yeah, they'd be happy to do that, that's no
Okay.
problem.
The other thing on the swings, is there any kind of adjustment to raise and lower the swings from the ground level instead of having, you know, somebody climb up and unhook?
Well, no, the swing should really be stationed at one height when you install. It's not something you want to have capability of adjusting, that you go out tomorrow, I have my son or, you know, whomever you have, you know, and I'm gonna drop the swing, because what's gonna happen, you're gonna have all kinds of problems, other kids adjusting up and down. So, yeah, we have, more almost like tamper-proof hardware that, for that, so it eliminates that issue.
I got a question. How much extra, or you'd like to donate that, if we ended up with a swing that had just the little kids, you know, the 3 that you showed us, and then incorporated just those other 3 for the bigger kids? Is that a big amount of money?
You're saying a part of the same bay, or?
No, another little, just a little one for them. So maybe it would just have 3 swings, which would
Okay.
incorporate what you said,
Yeah,
but it
we
would
can-
also give 3 swings back to the bigger kids.
Okay, let's go back.
You want
Is that-
you want a
is that-
toddler?
A toddler one, that they could put the
Okay.
high chair one in that
Yeah.
he showed, and it would be near the kiddie section. And then we get 3 more for the bigger kids.
So right now, we have 8 swings. Are you saying?
Two,
so
that's
there's-
one, that's one swing.
You're
Well,
saying 8
there's-
for big kids.
8 for big kids,
And then
and
another
a
one?
small one
And then a
to
separate
incorporate
two-bay.
those 3.
So you're looking, yeah, so each seat, generally you have 2 seats per bay.
Oh.
Right now, we have 4 bays which has 8 seats. 5 belt, 1 ADA, and 2 tot, closed tots. So you wanna make it either a 5 bay, adding more tot seats, is that what
Yeah.
I'm understanding?
No, more full
belt
seats,
seats?
belt seats, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we could do that.
Or potentially have a separate set of swings with 2 bays that would have
One for
3
kids
toddlers and
and
an
one for
ADA.
That would be more
Yeah.
to the little
Yeah.
section that you were doing, so it would
Okay.
be more toward them.
Yeah.
We
And
need
then you
a space
separate
for
from
it.
the bigger kids.
Do they
Okay,
want
well,
separate units?
Is that a
Getting
big
back to
fence?
the
We were just-
swings that are already there,
Yeah, for the little ones.
2 bays of swings, what's wrong with putting something there?
If we have the room, I think we have room, I don't know.
yeah,
It's a pretty
it's,
big site.
it may mean taking a tree or 2 down along the edge, because I know where the top, I mean, the belt, the swings are, there was, for instance, I recall, and I can look in pictures, but there was a swing here, and there was a couple down at the far end that may be impacted, based on the fall zone, those 2 flow direction, that just have a certain amount, so that would be
Yeah, I
just
mean, we-
something, again, we could look at.
I think we'd wanna try to avoid taking any trees down.
Yeah.
We don't have any shade as it is.
Yeah, no.
But we can work with you if we wanna go
Yeah.
that route to
Yeah.
figure out how we could, adjust the shape as needed to fit something in.
Yeah, one thing, obviously, you probably leave here and wanna go, ugh, with those people. Because it's, we all have some little different perspective that we'd like to, make sure it's taken care of. So our job, okay, obviously, is to listen to people who are gonna be using the, shall we say, all of this stuff, and wanting to make sure that we meet the needs of all of the students, I'm gonna say that till I die, of all of the children who will be working and learning and playing in this area. And so, if we add another 15 feet in the length of the thing to get more swings in or something, that's small potatoes in my opinion at this point. Our concern is, we will please, okay, some of the people, some of the time. We'll will please some of the people all of the time, but there will be some of the people who will not please at all. And it won't be because of lack of effort on our part, because we'll listen very carefully, we'll try very hard to, you've heard their concerns, you can give us some, information and saying, well, you could do this and this and this. And we're gonna have another session, I think, maybe either next Thursday or Friday night.
Yep.
I'm not sure what people's availability will be, and have another group of people to come in and talk about this. And then we have another one, we think, either early the week after that.
Right.
And, every time we get new information, we'll, chat with people. I just say sharpen your pencil, because, that's gonna be of critical import to us, for sure. And I know you only have so much wiggle room, but you probably have a little. I know that there are some areas, maybe, we can seek grant help, or that we can seek, donations from various folks who've already indicated the interest to participate with us. So what we'll try to do, obviously, is get the best possible circumstance and situation for the students and the children in our area. And,
And I can, speak a little to that too. Tammy and I will be meeting with CMRPC on Wednesday to try and increase the fundings through a park grant.
Yeah.
So we're working on finding some
Funding
additional
that too.
funding to, improve this, and then potentially also, we did allocate some for Rice Park as well.
Yep.
So that was allocated out of ARPA funds, but if we can get park grant funding, we can do more with, seating and additional things
Yeah.
there. So, obviously, we wanna get High Plains Park situated, and then we wanna, keep moving with Rice Park as well.
I think the concern that we have, obviously, is understanding that this is shall we say, a multi-decade, opportunity for our children, and we don't want to miss out on it, and we don't want to do let's say.
We gotta get it right.
We gotta get it right, we just have to get it right.
Yeah.
And we have to be responsible to the amount of money it costs us to do it. We have to try to access other grants and other opportunities to augment what we have in ARPA, aside for this. And we need your help and expertise, and, I look forward to the opportunity to talk further with you and your company about this, and obviously for you to say, ouch, stop, I can't do anything else. Don't keep changing it, we need to finally make a decision. That's, I'm guessing, what you probably have to do with every.
You're gonna make a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
Are your products made in the United States?
They're made in Canada.
In Canada.
Yes.
Does it matter, depending on which vendor, what's going on with the fencing and things like that?
no. Each vendor will have the obligation and responsibility to do what we ask for a price. I think.
Would fencing be the vendor, or would that?
Well, the vendor does it, but they indicate to us that they're more expensive than if you have a local fence company come in and do it. So my guess is that we would be probably, if we're gonna change fencing, add fencing, move fencing, that we'll do that through a local vendor.
It's going to be part of the project, but it might
Yes.
not be through
Yeah.
the.
And because the thing of it is, some of the fencing's not in bad condition, it just might be in the wrong place. So we may have to shift it back 10 feet or something like that. I mean, we can't go closer to the road, we're pretty tight to the road now.
Is the plan to close off the fencing and all, so the kids are more in one spot?
I think we had talked about having gates.
There's
I mean-
a couple
That's the
areas
plan,
that it's
right?
wide
Yeah, that's
open.
the plan is to have,
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
you mean, you can close in the
Yeah,
edges,
yeah,
yeah.
closing it and having gates.
I mean, what I worry about, obviously, is we may have to make sure that gates are appropriate for the age level that will be using it. Because the last thing we need is somebody to get their finger caught and off in one of those things that you can't use those at schools, okay, for obvious reasons. So we have to be concerned about what kind of fencing we put in, making sure it's safe, and making sure that, as parents look at that, there are parents who say, well, don't make it so they can't get out. I mean, you know what I mean? Don't make it so they couldn't leave if they felt threatened or whatever and wanted to get out of the fencing area. Most of the time, I will say, and I've said it 100 times to people who talk about the High Plains parent group and the citizens who live there, they take such good care of that property and manage children in a way that's pretty impressive. And that's not the case in many places, so I, commend you. And I also say, when this finally is ready to go, you will bemoan the fact that now half the town is up there, at least for the first year, because this will be a first-time thing and people will be very excited about being there. So we know your cooperation will be important to us.
Yeah, so the fencing, right now, they have, just small openings.
Yeah.
So there's not even a fence, so
Right.
there's like only a couple.
You mean,
So
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could keep an eye on your kids for.
Well, I would
for
think
little
so, but-
openings, You know?
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I know
just
one
saying-
thing I've heard is, you know, even if there's not, just having some sort of noise when someone's entering to be aware, like that's something you get from a gate that you wouldn't otherwise, just to be aware of, you know, who's entering.
Well, we could also put a little beeper in there or something, you know? Every time a kid goes in or out.
Do you know how much I trust electronics outside?
I know. Well,
Well, you might not, but I don't.
To the board, every time you hear on the news that a municipality has contracted through somebody, there is always overruns and price adjustments.
Mm.
Is that going to be,
well, obviously, we'll enter into a contract with very specific, you know, specifications. And there always is in a contract, potentially, where you would put an opportunity for a change order. We get 2/3 of the way done and we say, you know, while we're here, we wanna add another, like I'm making it up now, another bay of swings. And then we're gonna have to pay for that. And so as far as cost overruns, we have a very specific budget that we can't get any more money out of. So the chances of us being able to do much, you know, beyond what's gonna be in the original contract will be slim, unless we have a benefactor of some sort,
Or additional grant funding.
or
from a
additional
different
grant
source.
funding. Yeah.
Are you separating some for maintenance?
No, we would not have the capacity through this grant to have an annual maintenance budget. That would have to be something that obviously, from the community's perspective, when we mow commons and we fix this and we fix the infields, it would be something, we'd have to look at wood chips and that kind of thing. We can talk about annual cost of wood chips and what gets kicked out and how much it costs. I mean, we can talk to places that have these.
We are working on basically assessing maintenance for the town as a whole right now, because
Yeah.
it's something that's been left to the wayside
Yeah.
for every aspect of the town. So
After
we're-
spending so much money.
Right, so that's something we've been actively working
Not
on
to
for
be
the
able to-
town as a whole, and that would be part of that. We've
Maintain
actually,
it.
Well,
you know,
if it wasn't
looking
for
at
Mary Ann and her
maintenance
group,
personnel.
Nonne Park would still be a gravel pit. I believe that. I do believe that. I hate to, I know I always bring it up, Marion, but I believe
A
that.
lot of people, yeah.
Or a lot of
I think
people,
that,
but,
yeah.
you know, their force is marshaled because of you.
Yeah.
But that notwithstanding, we know, we look at Felton Field and you know, the opportunities that are there, but we can't take advantage of them because there's no Parks and Recreation group where you have people to mow. Yeah, I mean, they mow the commons, but look at the number of commons we have in town. It takes a lot of time just to do that. So there's no question that, you know, managing better our plant and facilities, as we know. And, you know, we've spoken to that before as a board, that we know that those are concerns.
And we are looking, you know, potentially at regionalizing that, working with other
Yeah.
towns to get maintenance aspects
Yeah,
working in the area, because it's definitely a challenge for all of the small towns around here.
yeah, it really is. And there's no question that, you know, hear me whine up constantly about, you know, where we are with the state budget. Well, the state budget, when it came from the governor, said one number. Well, they basically cut that number in half in the House, and every amendment we had went down. So schools lost half of their, shall we say, rural school aid in half. Also, there's no aid at all for 211 school districts in the Commonwealth, none. And SOA, the Student Opportunity Act, really, most of that money goes right to the, you know, the cities. And I get it, they need the money as well. Their money has not been touched or diminished at all at this point. Obviously, we'll continue to work hard to get, you know, that funding, which is just unrestricted local aid. I mean, big deal, we were gonna get 3%, now we're gonna get, okay, 1.5%. So, as we look at the playground, it's safe and secure in that we are gonna use some ARPA funds, which are federal funds, and maybe if we get some grant to augment it, that's one thing. So we know that can happen. But we do worry about all of the other things that we sort of have irons in the fire, hoping that we can improve opportunities in this area, improve opportunities in that area, and it's gonna be a struggle for us, we know. But, I mean, you've been to enough town meetings to know it's always sort of a struggle. But I just think, when we've lost the House already, governor's money, you know, and I mean, if the final, you know, shall we say, tax revenues for, okay, April, are lower or as low as what we've seen for the first 8 months, we are in big trouble. April has to be our big month. The 15th, on the 15th, the revenues from the state taxes way up. it better be way up on the 30th, or wow, we're in for a rough ride in the Senate. Rough ride. And there's just not a lot of Fed money coming down either, so it's gonna be, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for you and me, Mary Ann. We've been sliding on that slide a long time, me and you, and we're gonna take one more ride down it before we rip it out.
There we go, let's do that.
But my concern is that we all continue to work on this to try to get that, mid-May, get a contract out there to somebody. And you've heard our concerns, another swing set or this or that, and we can talk about this. Because if I can have a piece of equipment like that, I think I know a place where I can get some money to support like a sensory tunnel and stuff, I really do.
Just, Tammy, if you'll let me know if you don't have the catalog and
I
the
don't have
price
the
list.
price list, I don't know, so I'm gonna send it out to you guys right now.
All right, I'll send you that.
But,
He sent us a bid document, but he's high.
I'm not sure how
I think
much
it might
more
be
you had
because-
for presentation
Not really,
wise,
the
but
other
the only thing
person
I see
is-
missing really
is
here,
like-
and there's
They
discussion
will
about
do,
mentions
they
to
will do
tables,
the,
Yeah.
is maybe
it's
some
like
kind of shade structure.
$38,000 less than him.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Doesn't have
yeah.
to be a metal.
But I mean, it could be,
fabric.
because this
That
is,
would be
I think,
take
much
it down
nicer, this
in the fall, the
thing.
fabric would,
I like that.
it's an easy
Well,
technical
yeah, I mean,
process.
I think this is,
So just
you
maybe
know,
something to consider.
better quality. You're talking about the difference between this and this one?
Well, no, I'm talking about the
I think that would
one,
be-
the
yeah,
other
that would
woman
be
is
helpful.
gonna
I-
come, that she couldn't come
I
on
love trees,
Oh,
but
yeah,
they
yeah,
take
yeah.
time to
Oh,
grow.
I didn't know that. I didn't know what, you've
So
seen
I think
her?
that could be
Well,
very
yes,
useful.
Tammy passed it out
Short
the other
term,
night.
and we can,
Oh.
work together
Anyway.
to get some more trees growing,
Yeah,
so.
so, so if you don't have to take out some stuff that'll be in your way, no?
What's that?
Will some of that stuff be in your way because you're not gonna take it out when you're in there? Handwork?
Well, I mean, they want to take everything out, right?
No, they wanna keep the dinosaur and the igloo-like thing.
Yeah, but that's not, he didn't put it in the drawing here.
Well,
Then was it gonna be, I mean, could you get all those areas around, the safety areas, are they gonna be in the middle of that or no?
No,
Honestly,
they're in the,
Just
they're
having
in
that,
the,
where we
yeah.
have the one standalone panel, if we could add just like 2 more panels
No,
off
it
of
would be in
that.
the way.
And then maybe,
No.
Tom
But
has
I
some
mean, we really need to
recommendations
know
on what
the
would be best
footprint
for
of
learning
what
and
he wants to
development. I think
excavate
that
for
would
the,
be great if we could.
for the
Yeah,
checks.
just
We
kind
need
of
to know that.
summarizing what you want, and I can
Yeah.
go with Tammy and.
Don't you think we should just get rid of all the
Yeah.
grass?
Hmm?
Don't you think we should just get rid of all the grass?
Could,
What's your
you
street
just do all
number?
checks.
You don't wanna pay
In a
the
square,
answer.
Great. Yeah,
I mean,
That's all I have. If
Depend on
there are other
the
questions,
size.
feel free to email me, or
Okay.
you let Tammy know, and she can email me, and go from there.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming in. I think this
Yes,
is a
thank you so much.
great option and,
It
Thank
is.
you, I went to J&J's again for dinner, I went a few weeks ago for lunch, and
Uh-huh.
You came back.
3 ringing chocolate cakes for dessert in my car, so no one can, I'm no sharing on that, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Doug, we appreciate it. And we'll be in touch with questions and so forth.
yeah.
Okay. Tammy, you wanna probably keep these?
I have one of those.
You have what you need?
You guys can
Okay.
keep those.
I'm missing one of them.
Okay, which one is it?
Do you want the layout?
Yeah, here's the
Okay,
layout.
I'll
Do you
get
have that
one.
one? Tammy, you got the layout?
So, I don't know if we want to take any other questions or comments before we adjourn.
We could ask. Before we adjourn, anyone else have any questions, comments?
Yeah, I have, not a question or comment, maybe those folks have something too. But I'll wait until I stop talking.
Thank you again for coming in.
Goodbye, Doug.
Take care. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I just had some ideas on there, I just don't know how many meetings I can go to, so I just was just showing Mary
So I
Ann
just
some
circled it
ideas.
for her.
Okay.
Awesome.
It was just those little, what are these called, interactive things, what's these?
It just says
The
a
panels, these kind of
It's
things?
just little panels.
Okay.
Okay. Take a look at one of those tunnels too.
Is
See
that
what
in
you think.
here?
Yeah.
Oh, the tunnels in here.
Do you want a copy of the catalog? I
You guys
can,
can, I think I have some upstairs, yes, feel free to take.
yeah, if you want to keep one of the copies of the
Yeah,
catalogs.
absolutely.
and,
So just something more like this where it's hands-on,
Yeah,
because that plastic is so gross.
yeah.
Pages now.
They all fall apart.
Oh, Eric?
If you want to go through, keep one of the books, and if you want to take your time going through, see which ones you like the best, like would work
Yeah,
best,
That's kind
and
of-
just give us these numbers so we can look at them.
Yeah.
Because I did more than one.
I just active. I'm sure it's big.
How many slides, we get 2 slides over here.
But they got houses on it, I'm sure whatever we pick isn't the right thing.
Definitely take
Yeah,
a
well,
copy of
that was, I'm just about to say that, listening to this, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely keep a copy of this and just send us anything that you think we should try to get incorporated.
Sometimes they worry about
That was the other.
the
Yeah.
smallest detail that doesn't,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly, but, you know, you gotta,
Yeah, I get it.
All the way around it.
Yeah.
So not next week. Okay.
Sam, you had a question? Comment?
Everybody stop talking.
Yeah. Great.
Sam, we have one question before we break. Sam? I think we have one question before we're
Yeah,
ready to
right,
break.
before everybody stops talking, then I'll.
Okay, I think we're ready now.
By the way, I don't want to give the board the impression that I'm trying to take over and tell you what to do. Tell you that you're not doing well, whatever it is, I think you're doing great. It's puzzled me that if a company is willing to sell a product for 50% of what another company is doing, and the only holdup is some sort of a on the list program, I think it behooves the board to research and find out what this is all about, what the list is all about. And, I mean, I don't mind reaching out to the CEO or someone, because I've had referrals to him, to try to get on the list, but I don't wanna take your job away from you, and I'm sure that you, Maureen, could reach out just as well as I can.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you the name of the company. No doubt, you might have
Thank you.
reached out to them previously, I don't
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
But as this gentleman is, he's a commission salesman. Some of the other people are commission salesmen. I'm just, and I don't know, I don't have a child of this age, so I don't really know what's necessary, and Mary Ann does. She did one hell of a job at Nornay Park, so I would defer to her in any direction. But Barry needs to get the most bang for its buck.
We agree,
Agreed.
And no matter what it is.
we agree.
I am a little concerned about, I was made aware that these products are made in Canada, whatever that means. We don't know if they're really made in Taiwan and shipped to Canada, we don't know. But we have to have a certain sense of a warranty and a guarantee and available parts. And who's gonna be responsible for that, because we don't have a Parks and Recreation. Unless we can give one of you guys a side job to be the Parks and Recreation Director.
That'd be a conflict of interest, but where are you going?
For free, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I hope you, if you
Yeah,
need,
no, I also wrote down the website you mentioned.
Yeah.
if
right
you
here
need
too.
me to reach out to someone,
Mhm.
if you ask me, say, Sam, could you find out from this and this company, from the higher ups, instead of speaking to a salesperson, I'd be more than happy to do what I need to do to uncover the issues.
Okay,
But I'm sure, you've asked a lot of great questions, man, and you built, no doubt you built playgrounds over at the Quabbin Regional,
I have.
so you probably know. I do wanna mention something to the board, is that I had a conversation with Mark Brophy yesterday.
Mhm.
And I did ask him about the fact that since Barre is the host town for the Quabbin Regional School District, why are we having such difficulty in getting to use that sign when the town of,
What sign?
the
Oh, the sign in front of the
the
school?
sign in front, when we have a town meeting, why are we having such difficulty getting to be posted on that to assist the town? And he said, well, I didn't know there was a problem. So you know now that he knows that there was a problem, so hopefully, at the next town meeting, it'll be blasted on both sides of that.
Well, if that's the case, we'll see.
So,
I can't tell the Quabbin Regional School
No.
District what to do.
but, okay, but
Those
there's
days are gone.
but there's a meeting tomorrow, isn't there a board meeting or something?
No, their meeting is probably tonight because it's the 25th, and that's when they were
Yeah, I
gonna,
think that
do
meeting
it
is in progress.
yeah, the meeting is in progress.
Oh, it's in progress.
I know that they are
So,
working on
are
their
you-
budget
Are
tonight.
you gonna, will you reach out to Mark?
I
Bogan?
certainly, I
Or
don't,
would you like me to reach out to him?
well, I don't know which one of us will have the most sway, so whoever you think would have the most sway.
Well, I don't know, you know him better than I.
I do.
But he wasn't not aware
Mhm.
of the difficulty.
Well, I would just say that the difficulty is, yes, we may be the host town, but understand that if, our use would have to be extremely limited to maybe the town election and the town, annual town meeting. Because there is no possible way, okay, that they are going to begin to be our digital sign. They're just not gonna
No,
do
we're not
that.
talking about that. But we're talking about the town elections and town meeting. That's all the citizens want.
Well, we don't know if the citizens want it, we know you want it.
No. The
Right.
ci-
It
the ci-
would
the
be
citizens-
good to find some way to work a deal with them and.
Well,
Well, I have a question with
The
that.
citizens want it because it's been discussed at the Barre Taxpayers Association meeting. So I'm bringing it to your attention at a board meeting. So we all know about it and there's no secret, that's all.
Being that it is, that you might be able to answer this one, because I don't know, I've been asked this question, I can't get an answer. Being that it is, town property,
It's not town property.
well, no, the sign is not town property?
Which, this Quabbin sign?
Quabbin sign?
Oh, God, no.
Oh,
That is.
well,
that
but it's
deed-
on town property.
No, all that.
Who owns that
property-
property? How's that work?
The town does not own it. They never owned it. The Quabbin Regional School District purchased that real estate from.
Oh, okay, all right.
And that is all of theirs. It's not anything to do with the town. They are,
Oh, see?
they exist like they're another town.
All right.
They have their own budget, they have their own, jobs, they.
That's my answer.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
But it's not
I'm
town
good.
property.
I'm
Now,
good.
if it was Ruggles Lane, okay, that'd be different.
Okay.
If Ruggles Lane had one of
Yeah.
those signs, and absolutely, no
I had
problem.
no idea that,
It's like Hubbardston has a sign, and for the Hubbardston, now, they could put something on about the Quabbin Regional School District or something in Barre, but why would they? They have a digital sign, and I don't know, I think they may have put on like kindergarten enrollment or something
know
on
that.
that once, on their,
That's
right near the
interesting.
fire station.
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah,
know.
the new one they put in.
We
But
don't
they-
own.
But, and I think that like Quabbin puts on their kindergarten enrollment, district kindergarten
I've
enrollment,
seen it.
meaning any town, whatever. But there's no question that it would have to be limited to because what would happen is then the Conservation Commission says, well, we're gonna have a special hearing, why can't we put it up there?
I'm sure,
That's the problem.
I'm sure it'll be limited. I spoke to Mark
Yeah.
about those two things, town elections,
Mhm.
town meeting.
And I think,
Simple.
to make it useful and appropriate, that they should do that for all 5 towns, because all 5 towns bring their kids there. There are parents from Hardwick, Hubbardston, Oakham, New Braintree, and Barre, who are in and out of that school district, bringing their kids to practice, dropping their kids off, so that they too could see it. I think that's the fairest way to do it, that anything, that the towns have asked for these 2 things, the annual town meeting, the annual elections.
That's fine with me.
And
That's
so-
fine. And when
I
I
have
go,
a quick question for
and when
Mary.
I go to the Barre Taxpayers Association,
You
I
know
will
this?
mention that we had this discussion.
Yes.
So, I was just curious, where, what's put on, I know it's pretty small, the sign at Nornay Park, but the electronic sign there, where
Oh, yeah,
where that
that's it.
comes from too, if we can have town meetings and stuff. on
That's
there.
always on their town
That's
meeting.
usually on there, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And you would
Someone
want-
called me, even if they told me they wanted, like, basketball or soccer or something. I
Yeah, so we
would
can
talk
have,
to them.
we'll have town meeting on that side, and,
Yeah.
also, I don't, the senior center, I assume we could put something on that one as well. So,
And I
we wanna
defi-
start utilizing the ones that we do have access to already,
Good.
and then work out a plan with them. And then personally, I'd like to see another one outside of this building.
Yeah, but nobody goes by here. I mean, you'd have to put it down by the road. It took me,
Yeah, over by 122, in front of this building. Not like
I think we're
over
getting
there.
off topic.
no, but now, having the sign that we have for the building itself, it's up on the knoll, you don't even notice it going by. I don't think. The
The wooden one.
The new one that says Henry Woods Building Offices or Town
Yeah.
Offices, you don't even see that one, nobody looks at that one. You're coming down the hill, you're making the turn, you're slowing down, you do, so it's not, it's nothing that, somebody had to tell me like 3 weeks in a row, did you see the new sign? I said, what new sign? So, I would say that we know where the best place to put it in is down in that area. But I don't-
Deer Wedding Station.
Yeah, but
Where's the area?
down,
Oh, no.
you just kind of, almost across from the old Barre
Towards the
patch.
speaker?
I don't think that's a good place for it.
You know?
I don't.
Maybe it's not too bad, though.
That one's really, really difficult because it's state property and
Yeah.
it's also very bad sight distance at that intersection to begin with.
Well, I think that whole intersection's a bad place for it, but it's a good place for it, it's just,
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
just,
that's the one place everybody goes to.
yeah, but the problem is, it's a dangerous intersection.
Right.
Adding one more thing
Let me
to
read
look
this
up and
first.
read instead of watching,
And now the state's just repaving instead of
Yeah.
discussing with the town, better options and going through the ice process,
yeah.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah, yeah.
frustrating,
I think-
to say the least.
I
that
think
the
we
state just
will let people know via
gives
forum and also on the town for our meetings that we will be meeting
So.
to have a discussion
Okay.
about the next vendor in playground. I guess Thursday or Friday.
So you have to let me know what your schedules are.
Well, I can do either night since I have no life, but I don't know about these guys.
Friday is better for me.
Oh, I see.
Mark, what's the best day, Thursday or Friday for you next week?
Thursday.
Is Friday a possibility for you?
No. I'm going to, kids play.
Okay, I don't know if I can do Thursday. It's my daughter's birthday and my birthday, so we have.
Oh, the April baby is my husband's birthday,
Oh,
the
it's May.
28th too. Oh, May, that's
It's
right.
May, yeah. We have the same birthday.
No,
Oh,
no,
cool.
they're moving.
Okay, they got a big birthday,
They're moving.
she can't do Wednesday?
I asked her Wednesday, that was the first day I asked.
Okay.
What about Saturday?
How early in the afternoon could you do it if it was on Friday, or Thursday?
So,
They're
I,
working.
if you wanna have it Thursday, there's a chance I won't be here, but I'll see what I can do.
I don't care, I can be here either night, so,
It's your decision for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm fine with you guys doing it Thursday, I just might not be here.
Can we do it early? No.
could we do it earlier?
I can always watch it after the fact, it's gonna be
Okay,
recorded.
okay.
I mean, we're not making a decision on who we
Exactly.
go with that night, so I can,
Okay, so
just
Thursday,
ask good questions if I'm not here.
So we're aiming for Thursday at 6 p.m.
Thursday's on
And,
the calendar too, right?
we have, and then.
I checked it, yeah.
And then
checked
it
it.
will be on the 6th, our next meeting's on the 6th. So we'll be good with that. Just to let all of you know who I'm sure you're interested in, is that the Ruggles Lane Spelling Bee will be on Friday. Yours truly will be there, correcting those people who make mistakes, I guess. That will be on Friday at 1:30, so we expect that there'll be some parents and kids and stuff there. So we wish them well in their spelling bee. All right, thank you so
I
much.
move to adjourn.
You have a second?
Oh, I didn't hear him.
Adjourn.
Second.
Adjourn.
Yeah.
We have a motion made, and seconded to adjourn. Those in favor?
Aye.
May 2nd?